Participants today. అంతమంది ఉన్నారు, అంతమందికి నేను
Hey, you're a last does it look?
ఈ మామ మా క్లాస్ లో ఒకరునే మీరు వచ్చి
ఏం చెప్పుకుంటుంది
మా ఊరు దాకా నేను ఈ కంపెనీ
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಂದೇ ಅದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಸರ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಕಟ್ಟಾಗ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ತನಕ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ತೆಗಿಬಿಡಿ. Zoom link ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್, ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಲಿಂಕ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಲೈವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. We'll start off. Let them ask for your plan, you do that. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah.
Sartaj, sir. Okay, sir.
Can you see me?
Tell me, sir. It is Guru Prakash who is going to welcome the gathering.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Madam. I am Guru Prakash, Assistant Professor, GFGC Malur, Kolar district. I cordially invite the resource person, that is Dr. Sartaj Khan. He is working as Associate Professor in Alamin College, Bangalore. And I also heartily welcome the principal, that is M. Jairam Reddy, GFGC Malur. And I heartily welcome the organizing secretary, Kolar district. And I also heartily welcome Dr. M. Lakshmi, IQSC coordinator. I also heartily welcome Dr. Ahmilam. And also I welcome the members of this program, Manjunath, Sriramaya sir, and Sunil. And also heartily welcome all the teaching staff of GFGC Malur. And I heartily welcome all participants and students who are attending this program. Thank you, Nadal. Thank you.
To introduce Dr. Sartaj Khan, who is Associate Professor in HOD Department Commerce College, Bangalore. He has been in this profession since 1987. His research area was corporate communication with the topic English as a tool of corporate communication, a psycholingual analysis. Today, it's with a great pleasure to invite him to this college. And he has presented and published papers in national and international conferences and seminars and UGC journals. He has chaired sessions, conducted an 8-day orientation program for the postgraduate students of English, National College, Degree College, and one of the board of referees of Luminaire, a referred journal of Delhi, Department of Languages, with the number ISN 22492542, Garden City University. He is a registered research supervisor of Malur University from this year. He'll have 6 research students under him. IQAC coordinator, commissioned. He has rendered his university as deputy custodian related activities and the textbook committee of. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting an invitation.
It's my pleasure. Gausia, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, sir. Start, sir. Start, karo, sir. Start.
I'll start. See,
Yes, sir. You can start the program now.
formality of welcoming was going on. There was some technical glitch. I want to know from whose side it was, whether from your side or my side. If it is from my side, I would like to correct it. I hope you understood my question. Even now the video quality is poor, audibility is also poor. Is it from your side or from my side? I feel I'm well connected with my dongle.
Yes.
Gausia? Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello.
You understood my question?
Tell me, sir.
When you are welcoming me, when you are welcoming the gathering, there was some technical glitch.
Yes.
Come across that technical problem.
Yes, sir.
In terms of poor audio and video quality, I want to know whether
Yes,
it
sir.
is from your side or from my side. If it is from my side, I will correct it. But I feel
Your side, sir. It is from your side.
from my side.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible to you now? Am I
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir. You are. Yes, sir. You are.
No problem?
No, sir. No problem.
Okay, okay then. Okay. We'll start. I have not included good morning, good afternoon to one and all there, the principal, the organizing committee, the organizing secretary, students, and my teaching fraternity of GFGC Malur. I feel happy to be with you with this small assignment given to me by your English department HOD, Professor Gausia Nusrat. I accepted it wholeheartedly, and I am before you to deliver my job. I have not included the title slide about the author in order to avoid repetition, because yesterday I handed over my small brief profile to Professor Gausia, so she has read. So that's why I have not included the title slide about the author. Now, before I get into this topic of writing skills for the UG students, I would like to make one or two things clear in a very confessional way. In the beginning, when Gausia asked me to address the students, it was in the form of a Zoom class. She said, "Sir, please conduct a Zoom class for our students about the letter writing aspects." Then she said, when I got the invitation, it was a webinar, which is very much in vogue these days all across the globe, probably because of this pandemic. So anyhow, the topic has the topic has changed from letter writing, focusing on the students, to Vasant. Vasant has raised hand. Vasant, any problem there? I presume it is not that.
No, sir.
Continue, sir.
Okay. So, I am adhering to the topic of writing skills for UG students. The students there might please settle down. There is quite a disturbing moment about them. They are not well settled there, sitting. They are moving around. That distracts the attention, please. I request the students to be seated, occupy the seats. That will help all of us. So I was telling, my presentation today is on writing skills for UG students. So you should have a different perspective to understand this lecture. Unlike academic topic of letter writing, if you are listening to letter writing, then you will be a bit focused because that is there for your examination and you have to learn all those things. Other things are there. But this is something very generic in nature, general in nature, where we are going to look into some aspects of good writing skills. Of course, at the graduation level, these skills are applicable, be it letter writing or be it oral communication or communication in general for that matter. So with this small prelude, I would like to enter this topic about writing skills for UG students. I have a common term for this writing and speaking, which we call as communication. Before we go into these details, let us understand what is this communication, or what does this communication mean in the present situation, in this 21st century. What does communication mean? Now, if you look into the definition part of communication, it is defined in different ways. Transfer of message from one source to another, from the sender to receiver, etc., etc. This is academic definition of communication. I was also told by Gausia that I may have to come in with some Kannada also in between. Is it required? Prashant and other people there. Prashant? If the students want me, I will certainly join you with some Kannada here and there. Do you want me, dear students? Okay, let me see.
Students, any doubt is there, you can put it in the chat box.
Yes. That will be fine. Nevertheless, if there is any difficulty also, they can raise hands and get it clarified. Okay, before we look into the validity of this academic definition of communication as transfer of information from one source to another, I would like to offer an anecdote to you. A small story, like it is not story, it is a reality about my friend who is a small scale industrialist who makes tools for Maruti Automobiles and IFB Bosch company. My friend is involved most of the time in communicating with the, be it office managers, engineers, people concerned, accounting, finance department, many other people. Before the actual tool or die making begins, there is a lot of communication work that is involved. Lot of communication work. Well, all this in this communication, they talk about the business terms, the financial matters, the design, the accuracy of design, the date of delivery, financial matters, and many things. Then only they lay their hands on the machines with metal to mold a sheet of metal into a tool. If you look into this anecdote, we understand that, and it is clear even by survey, that 80% of the actual work is done through communication, and the actual work is just 15 or 20% of the whole work. Now, after my friend completed with the task of planning, discussions, finalization, programming, many other things, he comes and gives all these details to the people here in the workshop. They go by that requirements, and when once the tool is, once the die is made, just press the machine and you will get any number of, as many number of tools as it is required. Just press the machine, the tools keep on falling, So if you look at these two things, the actual tool making is a small thing. It appears to be a small thing, but behind this tool making is involved lot of communication in both the forms, oral form, written form, because when they are committing, they have to give it in writing. They might discuss orally, but for the sake of record, they have to give it in writing. They have to hand over the hard copies of their agreements, terms and conditions. So it is here, written communication comes to play its role in the real life situations. Of course, we have written questions on written communication in the form of letters, reports, paragraph writing, etc., even at your graduation level. For 5 marks each, letter is for 10 marks for BSc and other students. So written communication comes to have a role to play in these matters after all the oral communication is done. So I have offered this anecdote to prove the fact that communication involves comprises of a major chunk of the work, actual work. Now coming to the components of effective writing. I told you this thing. When it comes to speaking and writing, after the advent of technology, mobile phones, smartphones, etc., people have developed good speaking skills in any language for that matter, with some exception to some students, rural students, etc. But if it is Kannada, they are very vocal in speaking. They speak very daringly. They are very much used to speaking, and these things constitute the speaking skills. But when it comes to writing, it is something like this writing skill is something like forgotten skill. You speak well. I've seen a number of students who speak very well, spontaneously, with tone modulation, with right choice of words, etc., etc. But the same students who speak well cannot write well, because they have been concentrating more on speaking skills. So I want to stress the fact here that the advent of new technology has made writing an ignorable skill of communication, but you should not think like that. When you join the actual workplace, you need to communicate both speaking as well as writing. The difficulty these people who are good at speaking feel is with regard to spellings, with regard to punctuations. Sometimes they are tempted to use WhatsApp language or computer language. Like, for example, instead of saying BECAUSE, they will say BECOZ. These are the things that are to be avoided. Anyhow, writing skills, let me make one thing clear to you. Writing skills cannot be learned in the absence of language. Writing skills cannot be learned or improved in the absence of knowledge about the subject matter. Writing skills cannot be improved upon or presented in a better way, impressive way, without the knowledge of the words and formation of sentences. I hope you are understanding me. Is any intervention in Kannada needed here? Raki Apu? This is, do you need any explanation in Kannada from students' side? Okay.
It's okay, sir. Never mind. Continue.
Okay, I'll go in English only. So one thing you have to keep in mind is the writing skills do not develop in vacuum. There are three components which you require, be it writing skills or speaking skills. Number one, knowledge of what you want to talk about or communicate. Then you actually need to have language. Language means words and sentences. Then you need to have the knowledge of organizing those thoughts in a sequential way by the choice of right words, simple words, in simple sentences with all coherence and coordination of the ideas. So let it not be misconstrued that writing skills make you speak well or write. I mean, they will speak you. They'll tell you about the language. They will make you experts of language. No, it is only after you have known language. It is only after you have known formation of sentences. The skills of writing will make you write in an effective way. So once you have these three things, knowledge, language, and how to organize these things, you need to put the thoughts or message in the right words. Right words meaning the appropriate word. I have some examples in the later slides to give what difference a less inappropriate word makes a big difference. A less inappropriate word will make a big difference. I'll show it in the later slides. Now, you have to understand this fact that your communication is your personality. Like your dress reflects your personality, your body language reflects your personality. It reflects means it shows your personality, it shows your mindset, it shows your culture, it shows your way of thinking, it shows your background and many other things. I don't have to go into details of all these things. Just like dress and other things, communication is also one powerful tool which makes others understand you completely for your personality. When we say personality, it means it is not physical. It is not physical, or it is not just physical. It is mental. It is your mindset. It is your thought. It is your cultural background. It focuses on what you have learned and how you have learned. It talks about how you convey your thoughts, how you communicate with the people. Okay, so there is no hiding a fact about this phrase that your communication is your personality. So in order to show or offer your pleasant personality, you should have pleasant and correct communication skills. Words, it all starts with words. Words put together take sentence form, but before the words become sentences, it is the words that we have to talk about. What are the words we are using? Appropriate or inappropriate words. And we don't have to find out the results of inappropriate usage of words or usage of inappropriate words. You will be caught. You will be caught. You'll be questioned for the wrong usage, for the usage of a wrong word. And here is the thing, the boneless tongue can break hearts. So be careful about your words. The words you choose should be very carefully used. Now, what are those examples where you have to be very careful about? Slangs. Slangs, sexist, racist words. It is in what are these things? What are the slangs, sexist, or racist words? See, it is informal language specific to a particular group or context. Meaning, a particular section of our people in a particular area might be using a particular dialect or a particular word, particular language or sentences in particular context. So that might be relevant to those people. That might be relevant to those people in that context. But the same thing cannot be used in general context, general situations, and general public. I have given you one example of slangs. What's up? Now, this is American way of inquiring, how are you doing? Now, if a person comes to Malur and says, what's up? Probably the boy or the girl or the student might say, what's up? WhatsApp is an app. If there is any chance of misunderstanding this WhatsApp meaning. It is not WhatsApp, it is WhatsApp. This is what they use to know how are you doing. In the place of how are you doing, they use this slang WhatsApp. Now, where is this used? Can you use this WhatsApp slang in your writing skills? No, you cannot. You cannot. You can use it only when you are with your friends, when you are speaking, when you are in a very informal situation. But for that, you cannot use this sort of slangs in formal writing or formal communication, be it speaking or writing. Now, there's another one. I am all set. How are you doing? How are you doing is a question. Now, in the same tone, the receiver answers the question, I am all set. I am all set. Now, if we look into the meaning of it, I am all settled. There is nothing, there is no problem about me. I am all settled in life. That's what it means. But the actual meaning of I am all set is I am fine. I am doing well. So instead of saying I am fine, why should we say I am all set? Because I am all set is an American slang. WhatsApp is an American slang. It does not suit our society, our language structures. We can better understand when we are asked a question, how are you doing? So let us not use these sort of slangs which are very foreign or native to us. Staying out of trouble. I'm staying out of trouble. What does it mean? That there was a trouble and he has put himself away from the trouble. It means like that. It is a slang. But the exact meaning of staying out of trouble is I'm not doing anything. I am free. I am idle. I need some job. It is something like that. See the difference here. Now, we cannot understand this. I cannot understand this. Saying out of trouble, I cannot understand from the meaning, I am not doing anything. I can understand only when people say, I am free, I am not doing anything, I need some job, I am free of any work, So this is what we can understand. So in the writing skills, we have to avoid this sort of slangs. What's up? Amal said, staying out of trouble. I have quoted a few here. You can look into the internet and find out what are the slangs that are to be avoided. This is one of the writing skills. Now, sexist remarks. What is a sexist remarks? Sexist remarks are chiefly used against women as in a derogatory sense. In a sense to look down upon them, in a sense to insult them, in a sense to find a fault with them. That is called a sexist remark. It is female specific. It is female specific. Now, this sort of sexist remarks should be avoided. For example, you saw a lady was walking across the corridor, walking in the corridor, then you wished her. Probably she must not have seen you, so she did not respond to your wishing. But what you say is, she is an arrogant lady. She is very adamant. She is arrogant. We pass these remarks. So these remarks are called sexist remarks. Sexist remarks are mostly negative remarks, not to the pleasure of women. So these sort of negative remarks passed against women, much to their displeasure, should be avoided. Okay, so this that is about the sexist remark. I can give another example. If a lady does not notice you and respond to you, say she's an arrogant woman. If a man does not see you and passes like that, you'll say, oh, he is busy. He is busy. You take a very kind opinion about male, but when it comes to female, you take a very negative opinion. And we see, I heard one person who passed a very sexist remark against a woman who was riding very fast. So she was riding her two-wheeler very fast, and the person who was next to me, I overheard him saying, see how I used some word. I forget, but that was a negative remark against the woman to say, these are very speedy women. They are very speedy women. That's what he said. So that is a sexist remark. So we should not use this sort of negative remarks against women. No, tone should be, when you are writing, your tone should be positive. If it is for good skills. If you use negative skill, it makes you a bad communicator, a bad writer. Even the negative thing could be put in positive way. That's what I said. Your communication is your personality. A negative thing can be expressed in a positive way. Supposing you don't use positive tone, you always find fault with the people and use it or communicate in a negative tone, people will speak. First of all, people will avoid you and they will say, he is a critic. He criticizes each and everything. He does not approve of any good thing. If someone says that you do not approve of any good thing or you criticize every time, naturally that will have impact on your personality. That will have impact on your relationship. So that's what I said. Your communication is your personality. So instead of saying it is foolish to think like that, you can say you may rethink about it. The meaning is same. The meaning has not changed. It is foolish to think like that. This is a harsh tone, a negative tone, a tone of disapproval. The same thing could be expressed in this positive way, like you may rethink about it. So this will give him the impression that what he thought was not acceptable to the readers or listeners or receivers. So let me rethink about it and give a positive opinion or give a new idea. That is what the listener will understand. Instead of saying it is foolish to think like that, it is a very arrogant way of admonishing the person. Ways of communication with confidence or hesitation. Now, this counts very much when you go to attend interview. So there will be a personality check in the first round of interview. What is this personality check? The interviewer will find out, or even he is there basically to check your confidence level. And that confidence level is understood through communication. The way you answer the questions, the way you keep yourself in the seat, the way that your body language, the gestures and postures, all these things. So when you are numbing your fingers like this, one can easily understand that this person is very hesitant, he is very shyly, or he is very timid. All these impressions come to the mind of interviewer. So when you are communicating, it is you have to communicate with confidence. So what is this confident way of communication? How do you understand this confident way of communication? First of all, what you are communicating, you should be sure about it. You should be sure about what you are communicating. There should not be any fillers. There should not be any overlapping of one thought by another. When you are confident, the thoughts will flow in a stream, spontaneously. And when you are confident, please note this point here. When you are confident about the subject matter, the language will also be very confidently rolling out. Subject matter, the subject message and the language will go together. The confidence level, the more confidence level about the subject matter will increase the confidence level of using language. So if you are using language without any, if you are expressing your thoughts in a language without any fear, without any inhibition, then it is a confident way of expressions. Another way of judging lack of confidence is you make a statement, in the next stage you go to change that statement, you negate your own statement. Then the opposite person will understand that he is not confident of what he is saying. So you have to be sure about what you are saying and how you are saying. Then sentences, do you complete the sentences or leave the sentences half the way? Some people, of course, some small number of people, very small number of people do have this habit of starting the sentences and leaving the sentences half the way, because they feel less confident about completing the sentence, thinking that the idea he or she wants to express might not be accepted by the opposite person. I hope you are understanding me. At least the teachers must be understanding me. So when you communicate to its logical conclusion, to its logical completion. Like for example, I'm giving you an example. The research committee has submitted a proposal, but they want to, you are gulping the words there. You are gulping the ideas. You have not conveyed the full message as to what the research committee wants to say or what the research committee has recommended. So the incomplete idea, expression of incomplete idea, are not completely expressing the message or ideas is a barrier to communication which you should avoid. Contrary to it, when you are communicating, you should convey the message fully in complete sentences, and this is one of the writing skills. What is a good writing? Sorry, I'll go to another style. I have some questions here, simple words, short sentences, tone, direct language. I have covered those things here. Now, we'll look into this communication part again. Like, you have communicated. I have communicated the message. I'll give you with one, I will substantiate it with one example. The team leader has conveyed the message to the team members about the sales target, about the time target. Say, for example, by this month end, by the end of March 2021, you should have sold 15 policies, 15 health insurance policies, targeting the amount of 15 lakh rupees. Now, the team leader has conveyed this message to the team members. Now, can the team leader say that his job is over because he has conveyed the message, he has communicated the message? No, because the success of conveying the message depends on how the receiver has understood the message. Well, let us say the team leader has said and the team member has understood. Now, can you say that communication is successful? No, communication is not successful just because they have just understood the messages. He has transferred the message, X has transferred the message, and Y has understood the message. But that is not the end result of communication. The end result of communication lies in this salesmen, these team members selling the products, meeting the target, sales target, and meeting the sales target in time. Then only you can say that is how the success rate of communication is counted. So communication is not just transfer of information from one source to another. When the information is transferred from source A to source B, how has source B taken it? Has he understood it? If he has understood, then yes, it is good. Now, after having understood, is he acting upon it? If he is acting upon it, then that is good. If he is not acting, then communication is not successful. After acting, is he meeting the desired results? If he is meeting the desired results, yes, then only that communication is fully successful. So on these criteria, we have to judge this communication, be it writing skill or speaking skills. The words, sentences, tone, and style make writing interesting. These are very, very important things. The words, first, you should have the knowledge of words. Then you should have the knowledge of using those words in sentences. You should have knowledge of using those sentences and conveying them in a right tone. Then you should have the knowledge of making use of a better style to make that communication effective. Let us see. Be direct in your writing. What does this mean? Be direct in your writing. Do you agree with the fact that the person's nature is reflected through communication? Meaning, you can say what he is saying is right. He is honestly speaking, or he is trying to cheat us. We make this sort of conclusions about the speakers or the communicators sometimes, isn't it? So it is in this context the skill of direct communication arises. Direct communication is expressing the message without any hidden meaning, without any pretension, without any excuses, telling the facts as such. That is direct communication. And telling the facts comes with honest disposition. If you are honest, then only you will be honest in your communication. You will be honest in your, you'll be direct in your communication. I have an example here. You can understand it better. This is direct. Being direct in writing is one of the skills of communication, which comes with the honesty of a person. I have an example here. The superior had asked a question about the work, whether the work is done or not. This is the question. Steve, Have you completed the work? Now, there are different ways of answering this question. If the work is not done, Steve might choose a pretense as an answer. Like, sir, the work is not done because I would have done the work, but there was a technical glitch or the internet was not available. I did not get information from the administrative staff. It could be any of these reasons. If it is true, it is okay. But if you are using this information as a pretense to hide your mistake, to hide your lapse, that you could not do the work because you were engaged with some other work, you were sleeping last night, you are busy, engaged with other work yesterday, so you could not do it. If you want to hide that fact, and if you are using some pretense, throwing the weight behind lack of internet, of lack of support from administrative staff, or lack of feedback from the subordinates, then what happens is you lose your credibility. The language part might be good, but the content part will fail you as a communicator. You have to understand this point. You should not fail yourself as a good communicator from the content point of view. If there is any mistake in language, that can be borne. People will bear with that. But if there is any pretension, if there is any untruth, if there is any dishonesty about your message, however good your language might be, you will lose your credibility as a communicator. So this is one of the golden rules of communication, be it speaking or writing. Be direct, be honest, don't hide any message. Don't express it something hiding some other thing. So let your message be direct. Then your good writing or good speaking should be clear and concise. Now, what is the meaning of clear and concise communication, be it writing or speaking? This is also one of the golden rules that goes with that go together. Clear and concise. Clear is you should understand who you are communicating with, who you are writing to, who you are speaking to. If I am speaking to the students of Malur, GFGC, I shall not speak the way I speak at some level with my colleagues, at some level in the corporate sector. I cannot speak like that. I have to be very concise. I have to understand. These people can understand information only when it is communicated in a brief way. They can understand only if I speak in a simple language. They can understand only when one idea is expressed in one sentence, but not 4 ideas in one sentence. What am I doing? That is the meaning of being clear and concise. That is, the sender understanding the receiving audience, their capacity to understand you, and thereby you communicate according to their requirement in a way they can understand, not the way you can say, not the way you can expose your scholarship, not the way you can show off yourself in a very pompous way, using bombarding words, big sentences, long sentences, etc., etc. It should not be that. See, for example, insurance policy. I will substantiate it, how the communication should be clear and concise. Well, you are a sales representative, you have gone to sell an insurance policy to a person who is not educated, who is not well educated, who does not understand what insurance is. Probably he's a businessman, but you want to sell, but he may need insurance policy, and you have to sell that insurance policy to him. Now, when you go to him, you should have your strategic way of using the language and conveying the subject matter. Now you can say, let us think that he knows insurance. Thinking that he knows insurance, you will tell him, sir, I have come to you with a health insurance policy. It covers cancer, renal failure, cardiac problems, so on and so forth. Your premium is 20,000 rupees per annum. You will have access to cashless facility. When you are admitted to hospital, you don't have to pay anything. If you give these details, if you look at these things, the information is very precise. You are not reading out all that is there in the manual of the policy. You are presenting very important and striking things before the listener. So your communication should be clear and concise, as I have demonstrated it through the insurance policy said. Avoid sentence fillers. What is the sentence fillers? Sometimes people are given to the habit of using unnecessary words and unnecessary sounds. Like, for example, where do you come from? Is a question. I come from Bangalore. Is the answer. But some people say, basically, I am from Bangalore. What is this basically, foundationally, this, that? All this is not required. If you say, I am from Bangalore, that is enough. That is the answer. You use these words, basically. This is a filler. And you create some gap with some sounds. These are the fillers. These are the fillers. These are the fillers. You come across these problems, these barriers in speaking communication, spoken communication. You have to avoid these fillers. In writing, you have to avoid like this, basically, actually. Give me a glass of water. Instead of saying that, you please just give me that glass of water. What is a just glass of water? Does it mean that you want to have just a little water in that glass? That is not the intention. But you are unnecessarily using this word called just. Just give me that file. Please, needlessly to say, in my humble opinion, these are all the fillers. You should avoid. Please, you may use please here. These are the fillers. Very needless to say, in my humble opinion, these are the fillers which you have to avoid. I'll tell about this one. In my humble opinion, he is a good person. Why should you see, when you are giving your opinion, that must be humble to you. And that is understood. And you don't have to bring these filling words, in my humble opinion. Instead of that, according to me, he is a good person. So in my humble opinion can be replaced by similar word. Needless to say. Some people say, needless to say. This is a filler. If there is no need to say, then why do you use this word needless to say? Needless to say, the work will be completed tomorrow. This is a sentence structure. We use these fillers, needless to say, that it will be done tomorrow. Why should you use this needless to say? Instead of that, you can say, the work will be done tomorrow. So see the difference there. Using the fillers and avoiding the fillers. So you have to avoid the fillers in our writing skills and avoid the sounds in spoken skills. Gausia? I hope all of you are with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I take another 5-10 minutes of yours?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sentences. we talk about words, we talk about fillers, we talk about slangs, sexist remarks, and other things. Now let us talk about sentences. Yes, once again I would use the word, the golden rule. The golden rule goes with the simple sentences. Simple sentences, short sentences. Because short sentences are easier to comprehend. Anyone with average comprehensibility, with average understanding mind can understand simple sentences. Instead of making a pompous presentation of your presentation, message with difficult words, long sentences. See one example here. Decisions about strategy occur in the president's office. Oh my God. What is that he wants to say? And why does he say that? Well, what he means is that the president decides the strategy. This is a simple way of telling. The president decides the strategy. So, see, the decides verb has become decision here, that is noun. So, when you change verb into noun, it needs preposition. And it needs complementary words. So instead of that, use verb as a direct verb. The president decides strategy. These are simple words which anyone can understand. If anyone is, if Malur students are given this sentence, they will feel difficult in understanding it. Decision about strategy occur in the president's office. There is ambiguity also. Is it the president's physical office or the president himself who takes the decision? All these ambiguities, barriers to communication arise when you use difficult sentences or long sentences. In the place of it, simple sentences, short sentences will convey the message clearly and quickly. I have another example here. A well-documented need exists for what we might call a greater purchasing decision efficiency. What are the important words here? Purchasing, decision, efficiency. These are the key words here. These are strategy. Where is the strategy here? Okay, strategy is not here. So what you should do is, when my internet is getting unstable, okay, I can have for 5-10 minutes more. See, where was I? You should have the important components of the message in your mind. What is it you want to say about? There is laxity in decision making, purchasing strategy is wrong, there is wastage of money, and all these things are there in mind. Now you want to convey the message to the store people or the purchase people. So what you have to say is, let us make wise purchasing decisions. Let us purchase in a wise way or a wiser way. So these are simple words which convey the meaning, which convey the message, than using these well-compounded words. Well-compounded words, I should say. Now, your tone, so sentences should be short. These are the two examples I have given. Another important thing which you have to focus is on conversational tone. Speak or write as if it is one-to-one communication. That you are two people who know one another, and speak in a tone that you feel comfortable with. Let there be some informal phrases in it, like you have conveyed the message. Let us make wise purchasing decisions. Isn't it? You ask this question. these questions, right? Are you use the word right? Let us make wise decisions regarding purchasing, right? When you use these words, it is something like you are seeking the participation of the listener in your messages, in conveying your messages. So sometimes using conversational tone with the use of isn't it, right, okay, the tone conversational, and the communication becomes very participative. Participative means the speaker and the listener are equal stakeholders in this communication process. Okay, I've taken more than 1 hour. I will end with this slide, though there are other few slides there. Avoid cliches. What is a cliche? What is a cliche? Cliche is a phrase. It may not be wrong. It may not be wrong. It may be right. But over usage of these cliches becomes a barrier to communication. For example, let's say this. In this day and age, this is a cliche. In this day and age, there's no wrong about it. But when you are using this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words for 1 or 2 words, it becomes a barrier to communication. Let us read this sentence first. In this day and age, written communication is almost forgotten. Instead of in this day and age, you can say presently, written communication is almost forgotten. Now, if you look at this word, presently, written communication is almost forgotten. When you speak or write this word, or when the reader reads this word presently, there is automatic shift from this word to know what is there in the following words. That zeal is built up. Or 5 words. If you keep on using this sort of cliches for simple single words, it makes a dull reading. It becomes a dull reading. So avoid these sort of cliches. In the closing scenes, justice is done to the oppressed. In the closing scenes, instead of that, finally, justice is done to the oppressed. Which is good. In the closing scenes, or finally, naturally, I should say, if it were a one-to-one class, I would have sought your response. My internet connection is getting unstable. I'll stop with this one. Let me complete these 2 slides. So these are the cliches that are to be avoided. Now, what are the other cliches examples I have mentioned here? Last but not the least. What is this? We use it. There is no wrong about it. But instead of that, finally, honestly speaking, this is, you don't have to use this cliche. Because I told you earlier, when you are speaking, you must be honest to you. We are not going to check it. We will consider that you are honest about it. So don't have to say, honestly speaking. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. In the course of time, you will find out. There's a meaning of it. So these sort of cliches should be avoided. This is the last one I will come to. Preferably use the active voice. Well, I'm not prejudicial about passive voice. No grammar expert or language expert will say that passive voice should be completely avoided, but preferably use active voice. Like for example, of course, I'm not telling about the rules of active and passive voice here, that the doer of the action is emphasized here. In the passive voice, the object is stressed, it receives the action. All those rules, I'm not going into all those rules. A person has come to you to seek your help, and you are assuring him of some help. Which one will be better? I will help you is one way. You will be helped. This is active voice and this is passive voice. Now, this example clearly draws your attention. Draws your attention that it should be active voice. This active voice sentence is more understandable for the listener or the reader than this one, the second one, which is in passive voice. Why? Because here there is some sort of force in the assurance that I will help you. Insistence is on the subject. If you look here, there is no object. There is no object. You will be helped. What does it mean? You will be helped, but not by me, by others. Does it mean that? You will be helped. How and when? All those things, all those questions arise in the mind. So preferably, active voice is used. Use active voice preferably. But with due respect to passive voice, I should say, passive voice is also tactfully used in certain situations. What is that? When you don't know or want to hide the identity of the doer. This is what some managers, some in the hierarchical order, the people do. My colleague must have done the work. My colleague must have done the work, but I don't want to give credit to my colleague. I want to take that credit myself before the principal and the secretary, etc. So I would go and say, the exhibition is organized. The exhibition is organized. There is one way. That means I have not organized the exhibition. My colleagues have organized, but as the head of the department, I am coming in the forefront to take credit. So in order to hide the identity of the doer of action or the doer of this exhibition, I am using the passive voice. The exhibition is organized. I am hiding the identity. Well, there is one context where you use passive voice. Another context is you don't want to hide the identity, but you don't know. For example, the letter is delivered, but you don't know who delivered the letter, who has dropped the letter. So you say the letter is received or the letter is delivered. Who has delivered the letter? We don't know. So when we don't know about the doer of action, we use passive voice. Okay, paucity of time. I was given 1 hour. I have some network problem also. My dongle is showing unstable network. Before it disappears from the screen, I would call it a day. With regard to my humble presentation, I should admit the fact that I was not sharing with you any big or any novel or any revolutionary information. I was just sharing with you what is there, what is commonly known to all of us. Just because I got an opportunity, I have presented it before you. It is nothing more than that. We are equal stakeholders in knowing the knowledge or gaining the knowledge. I thank one and all from GFGC, Malur, the principal, the organizing committee, the organizing secretary, the people who welcomed me, the students, of course, who are very unsettled sometimes. Most of the students must have disappeared also. Whatever it was, there were a few students. So I convey my thanks to all of you for listening to me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful speech on writing skills. Dear participants, please fill up the feedback form which is in the chat box. Now I request Ms. Lucia ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you one and all.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to propose vote of thanks. I thank our guest, Dr. Sartaj Khan, for having accepted and presented the topic so well, and hope our students have accepted and imbibed the communication topic well. I thank our college principal and staff for this program. I thank our IT coordinator, Dr. Hamila. I thank our IQSC coordinator, Dr. Shrikant and Dr. Lakshmi. Finally, I thank our colleagues from the Department of English for their support in organizing this program. Thank you and all. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
God bless you all. God bless you, Ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you too. Ending the sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.